Live from 2 on your side. This is Buffalo Nightly News.
It is 7 o'clock in Buffalo, and we begin with a weather impact alert. Right now, a severe thunderstorm watch continues across western New York and northern Pennsylvania. This is a live look in Salamanca, where it looks calm here, but a flash flood warning is in effect for east central Cattaraugus County, along with northern Allegheny County until 9 p.m. Radar shows some of the heavy storms have moved past our region, but we're still looking out for bursts of rain. Thanks for joining us for Buffalo Nightly News. I'm Mary Alice Demler. As heavy rainfall continues to move through our region, some parts are left cleaning up after the impacts of hail measuring up to 1 inch in diameter. This video was sent into our newsroom by Kylie John in Gowanda, where you can see a stream of hail in that parking lot, and you can almost hear it hitting the parked cars. And that's where we find 2 on your side's Nate Benson right now. He's standing by live with the latest on the damage left behind there. But first, we're heading over to the Weather Center, where Storm Team 2 meteorologist Dan Russell is tracking the latest conditions. Dan?
Yeah, Mary Alice, our weather impact alert continues as we are still tracking active weather. In fact, here are the latest watches and warnings. Of course, everyone is still under this severe thunderstorm watch, but just within the last couple of minutes, a new severe thunderstorm warning has been placed, and that is for Chautauqua County. I was just mentioning a little bit ago during the 6:30, this storm that was rolling through Erie, Pennsylvania. And yeah, that's the storm that did prompt another severe thunderstorm warning again for areas of Chautauqua County. But we also, again, we have a general flood warning for parts of southern Erie County, Wyoming County, just a lot of ponding and standing water. We have a Cattaraugus Creek flood warning where we're expecting minor flooding even there. And then there's that flash flood warning for northern Allegheny County. However, conditions there have been improving here pretty quickly, but we do have more rain that's going to be even moving through some of those areas. But there it is, and this is why, again, look at all that lightning that we're seeing. Not quite into Chautauqua County right now. It's still making its way through northeast Pennsylvania. But again, it's going to be moving in, whether it's if you're watching around Ripley, Sherman, Panama. Again, conditions are going to deteriorate here pretty quickly. And I did put the tracker on here for you. And again, it's a line of some heavy showers and thunderstorms. Could see some damaging winds out of this. Jamestown by 7:43, this storm's going to be rolling on through. Olean 8:33. Now, once we get towards, say, about 8 and 9 o'clock, a lot of this will begin rolling out and things will settle down here later tonight. But still, the next couple of hours still going to be active across portions of western New York. And of course, it was very active this afternoon in Gowanda, and that's where we do have Nate Benson. Nate.
Yeah, hey there, Dan. It's kind of a wild weather day, as you described a moment ago. Let me show you just some of this hail that they got here in Gowanda. I'll squat down, you can see it. But I mean, it's very sizable. I was talking to the Persia Town supervisor, and he's lived here for a very long time and has never seen hail like this. And we'll pan back up, and you can see the damage. We're just behind the main strip of Gowanda. These vehicles, the plastic kind of bug guards on this vehicle completely shattered away. In fact, the paint has kind of stripped away too. It was the intensity of the hail was so much it kind of stripped the paint away. The windshield is cracked on this vehicle here. One of those leather tarps for the back of this pickup truck is almost looks like it's been stabbed. The hail was so intense it sheared right through this cover. The back tail lights bust up. The mirrors are busted up. A lot of damage in some of these vehicles here in Gowanda. The main strip of Gowanda, also the town of Persia Town Hall, had many broken windows across that entire complex. Some of the businesses in Gowanda too suffering significant damage, mostly broken windows, damaged siding and gutters and things of that nature. We saw photos from the town supervisor of basically the main strip of Gowanda looking like a February ice storm. There was so much hail at one point. Some of the businesses were shoveling it away so people could kind of walk their way through the main strip. Here's the town of Persia supervisor describing just when that storm moved in.
It got dark as midnight, really, really dark. Then straight line winds and rain came through, and when I mean straight line, the hail picked up after that, and it blew the windows out in the town hall, and it went straight through the building and hit the far wall, which is about 30 feet. I've never seen hail and wind this strong, ever. I always hear about it in the south, and you see the cars with the golf ball sized dents in them. Well, now I got a car with golf ball sized dents in them.
Yeah, as you heard right there, just a lot of damage in that main strip of Gowanda. As you can see in my hand here back live, just the size of this hail. I mean, it's very sizable, about an inch and a quarter in diameter in some parts, and that's not even the biggest that I've seen here on the main strip of Gowanda. We're behind the main strip, just in a parking lot. But again, people were brushing some of this hail away, and we're seeing a lot of damage across the southern Erie County, northern Cattaraugus, eastern Cattaraugus County, where flooded roadways. This hail here in Gowanda. So this was a severe widespread storm that really ripped through the area, and we're going to be monitoring some of the impacts of that all throughout the evening. Live and on your side in Gowanda, Nate Benson, Channel 2 News.
Some incredible video. Nate, thank you for that. And as he mentioned, there is storm damage across the southern tier after a tornado warning brought those harsh winds and hail. These are just some of the photos that have been sent to our newsroom so far. And if you've got storm damage to share, we want to see it. Upload your photos to the 2 on Your Side app using the Near Me feature, or you can post on social media with the hashtag #BeOn2. And as these storms roll through western New York, you can stay ahead of the forecast on our free streaming app, WGRZ+. This is a live look at our 24/7 live radar, plus weather conditions based on where you are. Download on your smart TV for live local news when you need it most. Well, in other news tonight, a 27-year-old corner store employee will spend 22 years in prison for killing his coworker. The Erie County District Attorney says Abdullah Hussein was sentenced this morning for manslaughter. Prosecutors say Hussein shot and killed 62-year-old Tawfiq al-Shieri in February of 2023 inside a corner store on Broadway near Sears Street. Hussein pled guilty in January of this year. Well, tonight, the Buffalo Common Council is approving close to $2 million in legal settlements. 2 on Your Side's Claudine Ewing explains and has reaction from a government watchdog group.
When the Buffalo Common Council approved over $1 million in lawsuit settlements, it once again shed the light on ongoing concerns about city liability and the costs to taxpayers. I spoke with Paul Wolf, an attorney and president emeritus of the New York Coalition for Open Government.
Unfortunately, legal settlements are a common occurrence with a big municipality like the city of Buffalo, and that money ultimately comes out of the pockets of taxpayers.
This is the list of the claims approved by the council. It includes $245,000 for a couple after a man was injured in a city-owned building and part of the structure collapsed. The biggest is a $700,000 settlement for Bruce McNeil. It's a civil settlement that involved his civil rights and police, including false arrests and malicious prosecution.
The police lawsuits are concerning because what we often see is a lot of the same police officers, unfortunately, time and time again, costing taxpayers money. So certainly that's something that you would think could be preventable, either by stronger discipline or getting rid of maybe some of the bad apples that are on the police force.
Wolf said the settlements likely save the city compared to costly trials. On Your Side in Buffalo, Claudine Ewing, Channel 2 News.
Local environmental advocates say that a new report confirms dangerous levels of lead contamination in the yards of many homes in Buffalo's East Side. The group Open Buffalo, with help from state and federal agencies, tested the soil outside over 100 homes on the east side. They say the average lead level in that soil was nearly 650 parts per million, and that is over 3 times what the EPA considers to be concerning. Open Buffalo laid out several recommendations that they hope can minimize lead exposure.
We have filed this report and our recommendations with the Common Council officially. We've also sent it to our partners at the DEC with the state. We also want comprehensive testing and mapping of soil contamination in Buffalo. We want that to be publicly accessible. And we also obviously want to have dedicated public funding for folks to have resources to remediate their yards.
Lead can cause serious mental and physical health problems, especially in children. A bipartisan group of lawmakers is pushing to save lives by making it easier for New Yorkers to become organ donors. State leaders joined Donate Life New York State to back a bill called the Doorways to Donation Act that would let people sign up as donors when they file their taxes. Supporters say it's a simple step that could make a big difference.
The urgent need remains. Around 800 people in Western New York are still waiting for a life-saving organ transplant, while 66% eligible Erie County residents are registered donors, which exceeds the state's average. We know that there is still more work to be done to ensure that every person gets a second chance at the life that they deserve.
Nearly 8,000 New Yorkers are currently waiting for life-saving transplants. Well, coming up on Buffalo Nightly News, Bills fans now have another chance to own a piece of the old Highmark Stadium. Hear about an organization selling items from the stadium before it's taken down in tonight's nightly briefing. Plus, a live look outside. Dan will be back in the Weather Center with your full forecast as we continue to track a weather impact alert. Well, we are continuing to follow tonight's weather impact alert. Here's another video sent to us from Gowanda, where the hail is just rolling down the street. And with all this rain, of course, comes flooding, but there are things you can do to protect yourself and your home. And that's where we begin tonight's nightly briefing.
I'm Kelly Dudzik in West Seneca at Kaz Creek, and earlier today we talked with the City of Buffalo's emergency manager about things you can do to get ready in this kind of situation where we're getting a lot of rain today. He said make sure you clear your gutters, your storm drains, and pick things up off the floor in your basement.
I'm Melissa Clausell in Buffalo. Mayor Sean Ryan is working on his proposed budget, which he said could include property tax increases as high as 25%. And now common council members say they're worried about renters in the city of Buffalo, specifically losing the lower homestead rate, which is usually reserved for homes where the owner lives. Council members warn that higher taxes could hit working class renters hard, but the administration says changes to that homestead rate are not expected anytime soon, and especially not in this budget cycle.
I'm John Scott from the NFL annual meeting in Phoenix, where we heard from Bills head coach Joe Brady this morning. Touched on a ton of different topics, from the DJ Moore trade, continued confidence in Keon Coleman, as well as his relationship and the growth of it with quarterback Josh Allen. This all leading into the Bills beginning off-season voluntary workouts next Tuesday.
I'm Chelsea Swift. One organization is ripping apart Highmark Stadium to give fans the opportunity to own a piece of it. Organizers say part of the proceeds are going to Erie County and that the reaction has been stronger than expected.
Well, the countdown is on for NASA's next big mission to the moon, Artemis 2. The first crewed mission of the Orion spacecraft is scheduled to launch tomorrow, marking a major milestone in America's return to deep space exploration. 2 on Your Side's Rob Hackford spoke with 2 NASA experts about all the excitement.
The energy is building at Kennedy Space Center as 4 astronauts and countless team members like Dr. Kelsey Young prepare for a mission years in the making.
You can almost just feel it around with the people on site at NASA. I look up at the moon every night when I'm here. I know the crew are doing the same, and we're ready to get this thing going.
The mission follows a successful uncrewed test back in 2022.
And liftoff of Artemis 1.
But this time, humans will be on board. The astronauts will travel beyond the moon, testing the new Orion spacecraft in deep space, while conducting key scientific tests.
The astronauts will actually take the Orion spacecraft all the way up past the moon, put it through its paces, and prove that we can use it for even more deep space missions.
The crew, commander, pilot, and 2 mission specialists have trained for years, working alongside teams across the U.S. and the world. Scientists say it could unlock new clues about the moon and even Earth.
Human spaceflight is a massive team sport. Even just within NASA, the amount of disciplines involved in getting these crew members into space and home safely is just incredible to be even a small part of. And then, as you point out, we have international partners, commercial partners, and these are really complicated things we're trying to do.
The mission more than a test flight, but a stepping stone towards future missions, eventually landing astronauts near the moon's south pole and building a lunar base.
And they will really be the foundation for the future missions that will be conducted when we actually go land on the moon in Artemis 4 and 5.
I'm hoping that this mission and getting eyes on the moon again will inspire the next generation to look up at the sky and see their potential in it.
Artemis 2, the arrow pointing towards future space exploration. On your side, Rob Hackford, Channel 2 News.